Welcome, guys. It is the first day of rAge. The gates are literally about to open up, as well as launch day for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And what better way to start off my day as an Assassin's Creed fan than having a chat with Daniel Bingham from Ubisoft, Quebec, who is responsible for the script writing of the game itself. So, how you doing? My name's John.
I'm great. Nice to meet you.
Awesome very much. Yeah. You can see I can't brain. It's too early. I need coffee. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a very corny joke. Okay, just as a bit of an icebreaker.
Perfect.
So, I think it was Marcos. That before he met Cassandra, he was a shoemaker. But how true is that?
How do you know that?
It was very soul destroying. I had to throw in a joke there because you'll see just now. Okay, so before joining the studio, this man here was a comedian, an actor, and I want to know what inspired your move from that career into gaming, per se.
Well, I'd like to say that I've always loved storytelling, and I've always been searching for the best way to tell stories. And I like to see my life in two different paths. There's like my video game path, and then there's my storytelling path. On my storytelling path, I loved stand-up comedy, I loved writing stories, and I wrote like a whole one-man show that was a more personal journey. And then at the same time, I'm also playing video games, and then over time discovering that video games are an amazing medium to tell these stories.
Yeah, that's true.
So after about 12 years of doing stand-up, working by myself, I decided I wanted to work with more people, be more collaborative. So I went back to school to focus on script writing, television, film, things like that. And then while I was there, I met a friend of mine who was dating the narrative director for Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Oh yeah.
And they were working on a new project, and so when I graduated, they were looking for new writers for this massive new project. And when she found out I was looking for work, she says, well, why don't you send them my way, you know? And then so it all made sense, you know, the gaming stories versus me wanting to find the best way to tell them, and then there you have it. The rest is ancient history, ancient Greek history.
Ancient Greek history. I like the way you threw that in there. That actually answers question number 2 that I wanted to give you, is whether you were approached or if you approached him. So I mean that sorts it out. But can you tell me what year that was?
That was, I'd say, 2016.
2016.
Yeah, and it was funny because first I was living in Toronto, Canada at the time, and I had approached Ubisoft Montreal. They were looking for a scriptwriter. And on the same day that I got my rejection letter from Ubisoft Montreal is when I got my acceptance from Ubisoft Quebec, and it worked out perfectly.
Well, I've just got to add, I'm thrilled it happened that way because
Me too.
I'm glued. I'm absolutely glued.
Me too.
All right, so now with the script writing, were there any specific characters that you were responsible for doing the dialogue, for the development for, or was the main focus the entire plot direction of the game?
Well, the entire plot was handled by our creative directors. Our narrative director, Mel McCoubry, was in charge of the overall story beats, you know, where it starts and where it ends, and then the important story beats along the way. We were all given different episodes and different regions of the game to work on. This is the largest Assassin's Creed game we've ever had, so we also have the largest writing team we've ever had. So each writer was kind of given their own assignments. Now, along the way, certain writers developed affinities for certain characters. For characters like Marcos, for example, or Socrates, or Hippocrates, who I had the pleasure of writing for.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Barnabas as well.
Yes.
You know, so, and then each writer kind of found their niche character that they were really good at. So I was lucky enough; I got to get Leonidas and Hippocrates and
the legends.
Yeah,
absolute legends. Oh, that's absolutely awesome. Cool. So that sorts out that. With regards to your research process into making sure that you stay as close to canon, or were you allowed to use a bit of creative license in your writing and your scripting?
I'd say we had both.
Okay.
Well, we were definitely aware of canon the entire time, but because we were bring a fresh perspective to the franchise in terms of pushing it into an open world RPG. We definitely a lot of fresh ideas and new challenges and new ways of writing things. Because again, this happens 400 years before Assassin's Creed Origins, so before there was even a creed. So we had a lot of freedom to write a character that would create their own creed. But then always keeping in mind, because we wanted to connect as well the first civilization to the bloodline, and so yeah, both to answer.
So that actually presents you with a bit of a challenge, which is going to make me skip over to a question this side, saying, with that kind of pressure, was there at all a fear of how the public would respond to those decisions, and how you're trying to weave it into the tapestry to pull the entire franchise together? I mean, there's a lot of pressure there.
Of course, and what I've discovered is Assassin's Creed fans are just very passionate people.
We are
Absolutely,
we are,
and as are we. As creators, we're very passionate about bringing the best Assassin's Creed experience possible. So we're always very aware of how people would respond, and of course, we were aware that there would definitely be a response to pushing away from, pushing in towards a full RPG experience, that we don't have the hidden blade, things like that. But we did our best to absolutely incorporate as much as we could that the fans love in the game. So, yes. We were always very confident that this is the direction we wanted to go.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's thrilling to hear. Now, this being your first script writing process in this franchise, definitely not being your last, that's something that has been said.
Absolutely.
Are you allowed to tell me whether or not you've started writing for the next one?
That I can't speak to.
Okay.
I do know we do have a post-launch schedule, and so I'm working on that as we speak, because we're going to be supporting Assassin's Creed for the next while, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So
yes,
yeah.
I mean the content itself, it's endless. Like I say, it's the biggest Assassin's Creed out there, and how does it feel seeing so many reviews saying the best Assassin's Creed created to date?
I mean it's overwhelming in the best possible way. It's really exciting. Everyone has been working so hard to make this the best experience possible, and so to finally have the reviews come back with such a positive response has been a dream come true. As a writer, I can just be sitting at my desk focused on one small part of this enormous world, and you can't help but ask yourself all the time, there's the self-doubt, is this going to be good? Are the fans going to love it? Is this going to be a fun game? So to watch it all come together and to have it be so positive has been a dream come true.
Then the characters that you were responsible for, those legends, was there one that you identified with the absolute most, that was your absolute, like, you couldn't wait to put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard to get that scripting going, that just you personified?
Honestly, it would have been Cassandra and Alexios. They're I don't want to spoil their personal backstory, but it is a Greek tragedy, that's how the story starts, and they've had a really rough childhood, and so I definitely related to that.
It's not a spoiler, it honestly is. You get stuck into it, so it's not a spoiler. Okay, that's convincing you to go get it if you haven't pre-ordered it. Why haven't you pre-ordered it yet?
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely thrilling. You're right. It is a tragedy.
And it's a family story as well.
Yes.
So I definitely weaved a lot of personal, put myself as much as I could into these characters, because I've always done that with all my work. You know, was always trying to make it as personal as possible, so that so other people can relate.
Thank you very much. So what we're going to now do is we're just going to take the tone down a little bit from the seriousness, because you have given us so much mind-blowing information. I would just like to know what is a day in the life of Daniel Bingham life? From when you open your eyes to going in and leaving. What do you do?
Okay, so wake up. First of all, my alarm isn't an alarm. It's called bedtime, and it's basically the sound of birds chirping quietly, and then they increase in volume, because I can't stand the loud alarm that just wakes you up like that. So it's a gradual waking up process. I like to drink water as soon as possible. I meditate. I meditate in the morning, and it's one of the first things I do, to just sit quietly, calm the mind, breathe. I find it's always because in the morning my brain can be scattering at 1,000,000 miles a minute, so I like to calm things down. Feed the cats. My girlfriend and I have two. Very important. We've got 2 boys, 2 cats, and so feed them, make sure they're taken care of, and then I feed myself. Make myself a big, strong coffee. That is crucial.
This sounds like my day. Your priorities
Very strong coffee.
are right in the right place. Your priorities are good.
I have one of those like stovetop espresso machines, and apparently mine makes 6 cups. And I just put it into one. So 6 espressos.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
And so good breakfast, good coffee. Then I pop in the tunes, and luckily I live about 15-20 minutes to the studio. So pop in some really good music, walk to work, start the day.
Excellent. And a typical day would be around about how long would you say? Until you're done, or is there like a point where you say to yourself, to stay fresh, I need to draw a line after X amount?
Well, I mean, during the day I have a lot of creative bursts of energy. So like first thing in the morning I've got a big burst, and I'll try to get out as much as possible, as soon as possible, before answering emails, I try to just get the creativity out, you know, and then and then towards I work until the work is done, but usually the work, some days it depends, you know, it can be a 9-to-5 day, and then depending on during when the process or how I'm feeling, it can go longer. Yeah.
Then to end it off, the clincher. Who would win between Alexios and Batman?
Alexios and Batman. Wow. That is a serious question. I am a huge Batman fan.
So I've touched a nerve.
Okay, but I feel Batman's superpower to me, I think, is money. Right? Like Bruce Wayne wouldn't be
Bruce Wayne without that, but also
without
being trained all way up in the mountains by...
But Alexios has the spear of Leonidas.
And the bloodline
of the first civilization coursing through his veins. You know, so I think Alexios would win. My money's on Alexios.
There we go. We've got an official answer out of the man. You can put your answer of who you think it is in the comment section below. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute thrilling experience. I hope you have a wonderful day further and enjoy rAge.
Thank you. I'm really excited.
It's been an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm a big fan, and I'm glued to this game. I'm glued to it.
Awesome.
Thank you. Take care.
Cheers.